Hello, I'm Alan Mauldin. I'm a Director of Research at TeleGeography. Today I'm going to walk you through the contents of our Transport Networks Research Service. This product focuses on long-haul telecommunications networks, both submarine and terrestrial. And let's start by having a look at the data section. So here we are in the data section of the product. On this page you will find four major sections: searches, downloads, profiles, and maps. Let's first look at some of the searches here. For a network database, you have 5 different options of ways to access the data: carrier searches for region, country, and city, and submarine cable searches for region and country. So for the carrier region, you can see here, you can click one or more regions and view the carrier profiles that we have for those regions. If we go to a submarine cable search, let's look at the country search. For example, we can look at cables that connect to Australia and click search, and we get the results here. You can also click on country A to country B to find pairs of countries which connect to a single cable system as well. The next search I want to show you is our bandwidth demand search. This is one of the most powerful tools we have in this product. On this page, you're able to view our data set on used international bandwidth around the world. The data can be viewed historically back to 2005. The data also extends with forecasts up to 2031. Data is available at the country level, sub-region, region, and also for major subsea routes. Okay, we're going to look at the profiles now. So here are profiles first for submarine cables. This is covering both the existing submarine cables as well as some of the planned cables. Let's look at an example. Let's look at Aquacom's AEC1 cable. You can see the data we have here, the ownership, suppliers, some comments, RFS date, length, cost, the capacity of the cable if we know that, and a map and the landing points and data on the station owners. So next, let's look at some carrier network profiles. So here, again, hundreds of profiles for various carriers who operate around the world. Let's look at one as an example here. Let's look at, how about Algar Telecom in Brazil? So data here on the company, the services they are offering. You can see here we have 5 different services, and if they are available in various metropolitan areas and cities. So you can see here lots of cities in Brazil they are serving. And finally, at the end, we have a map of their network and a list of which cables they may have direct ownership on. Moving right along here, let's look at the downloads section now. We have 6 things here. One is a list of planned submarine cables and the data on them in terms of the ownership, the cost, landing country, and a supplier if it's been announced. Latency here is the latency for many submarine cables and a few terrestrial networks, which is the round-trip delay between locations. That's in a spreadsheet you can download by clicking here. Submarine cable landing stations is a new thing we added just in the past year. This is a data set of the cable stations, the owner, and which different cables come into a unique station and is being updated constantly. So we have already thousands of stations in here and more coming. We have our spreadsheet each quarter, which details revenue forecasts for major submarine cable routes. You can click here for the latest version of those forecasts. We also do price forecasts updated each quarter for major routes. And here you can see the routes for 10G, 100G, and 400G for leases and IRUs for major routes. And here are some of the historicals. Again, we forecast right now to 2031. The final portion of the data page here are maps. We have a submarine cable map, which is similar to our map that you may know from our public website. The map here is a bit different. You can search here by owner of cables. You can look at, let's see, Meta, for example. Look at all the cables that Meta has an ownership interest in. So going back now to the bandwidth maps, these are maps that visualize the used bandwidth data for the most recent year. We showed previously in the bandwidth demand search tool. You can see here what we have, different regions of the world. Okay, now back to the home page. Let's navigate to the section on analysis. So here you can see our analysis that is grouped into 2 functional areas largely. One is broader analysis on supply and demand, pricing, content providers, AI, etc. here. For the regional discussions, we have more in-depth coverage of what's happening with the supply and demand trends on those routes or regions, as well as a look at the factors shaping the prices. The final thing I want to show you in this product is a section called Updates. Here you can find a list of all the things we've changed in the product most recently. The product is updated on a rolling basis, and you can see here some of the things we have changed in the most recent months. So that wraps it up. Thank you for joining me on this walkthrough of our Transport Network Research Service.